All right, let's see if it's as bad as they say. 100. Are those pretty close together?
Yep.
All right, let's move to 2. Tell me when you're ready. Let me go for a lollipop hold right over his head.
Ah, perfect.
Okay. Let me know when you're at 3. Same target we were shooting at earlier.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull like a full target high.
Okay. Look like right shoulder high.
All right. Pull left a little bit. That was a hit.
Yeah, that was a hit right in the chest.
That was 2 hits.
Yep.
Everyone said this gun was super inaccurate. Let's try for 4. Screw it.
That's it. I like that. That's my first. Yeah, it's not
That
easy.
looks like a hit.
All right, I'm gonna try again.
You're doing this. Like there's no
that
like
looked
really
like
left
high
and right.
left shoulder.
Dude, I heard that hit. Are you sure I'm not hitting it?
I think you hit the head.
I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna review the footage that we may have gotten 2 hits first shots on 400, but for what this gun was made for, it walks out to 300 easy. And everyone said that the accuracy was shit. I mean, what more would you need to do with a 8-inch barrel with 5.56? So we did a ton of shooting today. We did a lot of drills, a lot of one-to-ones, a lot of magazine changes, just a lot of running gun stuff, which is how I like to really test a lot of AKs. We could just mag dump into trash for 500 rounds, but it's kind of fun to actually, you know, shoot these things the way they were meant to be shot, not at a bench, shooting 1 round a second, not just totally mag dumping into trash, although we did that too, but running drills, and then as you saw in the beginning of the video, actually seeing if this thing can go out the distance. I think that this gun has already gained a little bit of a reputation because of the admin results video of suspect accuracy. While I did not put this on paper at 50 or 100 yards, what I did do was zero this from a VTAC barricade on a piece of steel at about 50 yards and just got to where I was stacking them all in the head area there and said, all right, we're zeroed. So we filmed the whole video with that 0, and then we thought, let's go to long range and just see if it's as bad as everyone says. Clearly what you saw there, we'll just talk about the accuracy real quick. At 100 yards, easy, stacked the rounds on top of each other. What more would you want out of an 8-inch 5.56 AK, for crying out loud? We went beyond that. At 200 yards, I don't remember how close the shots were, but we got 2 really quick hits with our spotter telling us where we were missing. But once we knew where to hold, it was like ding, ding. Then we went to 300 yards, and with the help of a spotter, we got 2 really easy hits. 400's kind of where it fell apart. I still don't even know if we got those hits. And by that point, if the round was impacting, the sound is so faint, and it's like barely knocking paint off the target. So, don't know. The point of that is, this gun walked out to 300 yards. Easy. How big were the groups? I don't know. Does it matter? Probably not. This tiny little short barrel 5.56 AK could make hits at 300 yards and in really easy, which is way more than this little 8-inch barrel would ever do with 99% of the people that have one of these. Part 1 of the series on this gun, we shot 500 rounds, a little over 500 rounds, and obviously we had major problems with steel case ammo, and by this time there's enough of these things out in the wild where it is a known issue that the chambers on these things seem to be a little tight, and steel case ammo, more often than not, is not going to run perfectly reliable for you. You're gonna get stuck cases. However, in the current climate, you can buy PMC bronze cheaper than the cheapest steel case 223 that I could find on the internet. And that's a dwindling amount of ammo that's going away soon, and when it's gone, it's probably gonna stay gone. However, for people like me and a lot of you guys that got into AKs a long time ago, You're probably sitting on mountains of steel case Tula. I know I am. I still have like 5,000 rounds of this stuff, and what sucks, I can't shoot it through this gun reliably. So that's a bummer. But in 2024, PMC bronze is cheaper. And, you know, it's objectively better ammo. It's gonna run, the powder charge is gonna be more consistent. It's gonna be more accurate ammo. It's just good stuff. So today, we are shooting 500 rounds of PMC bronze, brass case 223, 55 grain out of this gun. We've already shot 30 rounds to zero this optic, flawless. And let's go ahead and talk about that. So today we have a few upgrades on this thing. YouTube, if you're watching, I bought it like this. This is all factory stuff. I didn't put it on, but you guys know the deal. Anyway, last time we shot a Putnik on there, which is a bit of a flow-through suppressor, so the recoil was awesome. This time, I just wanted to try it. Dead Air Wolverine, it's not flow-through. This is going to add back pressure. This is going to add recoil. It just will. And because we're shooting a higher powder charge out of brass case, it's definitely gonna be a bit more jumpy. Put the Putnik back on there. It is definitely lighter and shorter than the Wolverine. That's very nice. And I bet it shoots softer. Night and day difference. Putnik wins. Lighter, shorter, way less recoil. And I'm just gonna listen to it. Can't tell a huge difference in sound. Still tight. See the sparks? Woo, we got some sparks. Loosened up just a little bit, we'll tighten it down. Man, that Putnik. Wow. That Putnik is something else, man. I will say those resilient cans are also light. For what they are, they're super light. And you would see this and think, that can weighs as much as a full Folgers can. Nah, dog, that is lighter than a Wolverine. Some people watching this video might not even know, but that's a clone from a Zenitco Putnik, so it just looks cool on an AK. The aftermarket stuff on this gun mounted up extremely easy, had no issues other than, and I said this in the beginning of the video, the 4.5 millimeter pin. I don't know what's up with that pin. It can't be sized properly because I tried other braces, I tried other non-braces, I tried other adapters, all 4.5 spec, Bulgarian spec. None of them fit. And it's not that they didn't fit into the channel, it's that the pin physically could not be smashed into them. That pin, if some of you don't know, or a lot of you do know, the 100 series style pin that holds the hinge mechanism, it should basically damn near drop in place with like some light taps. You should not have to beat it in place. On a couple of things I tried, I'm like holding the hammer up here going, oh my God, I'm going to mushroom the head on this thing if I keep swinging a hammer trying to get it in place. I'm just going to stop. And nothing else fit. So that was a huge bummer. So, which is why we just left the factory 1913 adapter in there and put a J-Mac brace on, which is a super sweet brace. This was one of the things I wanted to try, but I wanted some other options as well for the video. Couldn't get them on there. So please let me know if you guys are having the same problem in the comments. Whew! Thing feels like it's got a K&S piston with that can on it. This thing is boiling hot. Boiling. We'll take up a course of fire here. Should stop missing. Not great. I think we can do a hell of a lot better than that. All right, same course of fire. I'll try to miss way less this time. Ready? Little bit better that time. The RS Regulate lower handguard was super sick. I love these things, and these KRINK lower handguards have not been available in so long. They're so stinking cool. They're so badass. I want to get like a little Ultimac. I think these RS Regulate handguards look so sick with an Ultimac rail on top. But yeah, and if you notice here, the handguard is actually grooved where it kind of lines up with the grooves on a factory KRINK upper handguard. This one obviously is a little different, but if you were to put a real surplus KRINK handguard on there, these body lines would line up and it just looks really cool. That can does not work on a VTEC. That felt good. We're mini mags in. No malfunctions. I can't get this thing to malfunction. I even had a guy here named Angel, coolest guy you'll ever meet at this range, give us some brand new WBP mags, like a whole stack of them. Never even been ran through a gun, so we filled them up. I don't remember if we ran WBP through this thing. We may have. Brand new mags. We're running, these now have some reloaded brass from Americaliber. Thank Xander hooking us up with that ammo at a very good price. And we put the booster back on to go full loud mode, just to do it. Yeah, we've shot the entire day suppressed, and it was great, but we're gonna make some fireballs. Okay, what I'd like to do right now is just do a burn down. I've got 2.5 mags. Let's just get through 2 mags, non-freaking stop as fast as we can, see what happens. And away we go. It is throwing the brass. Woo! Throwing the brass. finger has officially gotten tired. It just runs, man. It just runs. It just runs with brass. It just runs, dude. That is a variety of mags. Yeah, we got a little bit more ammo to get through to push us up to almost 600 rounds today in one day. Let's go ahead and get through that, and then we'll wrap up this video. Oh, dude, it just feels so dry, but it's still working. Come here, let me show you that. Come here. It's so dry. It's so dry, but it's working. Fake Light Circle 10 mag. Kind of matches the grip. Isn't that neat? All right, ready? The gun just works, dude. It just works. Okay, before we leave, let's count. 4, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, plus this many. So that's 17 plus that many. 515 rounds just today. So it's right there with the Riley at this point. So I think now what we'll do is we'll go home, we'll relax, take a look at the internals, see what we see. The majority of the ammo on this gun has been ran suppressed, now with 2 different suppressors. So yeah, I'll see you in the backyard. Again, we've shot a ton of Norma, which is very hot ammo. We've shot a lot of hand loads, a lot of reloads, brass case, and we've shot a lot of Wolf steel case. So, decent variety of ammo, well over 1,000 rounds. Let's see what the internals look like. Straight to the bolt. So if you look here, everything looks pretty good, honestly. We're seeing all the common finish wear. There's one spot on the bolt on the camming lug where you do see metal movement, but nothing like what we've seen on the Riley Defense. I would say this is like 50% of the wear that we saw on the Riley bolt with the same round count. However, I think you're comparing apples to oranges. 7.62 compared to 5.56, just a different animal. And what we do know is that comparing that Riley bolt to other 7.62 bolts in my collection, they look pretty beat up too. So I thought I should take a look at some of my other 5.56 AK bolts with way more rounds than this, and they just don't have the wear. It just seems like 5.56 AKs don't chew up the bolts as much as 7.62 by 39 AKs do. So going back to the bolt here, we see that little splash. We'll monitor that, but I would say that's nothing to worry about. All AKs wear in this spot. The tail of the bolt looks good. We have a free floated firing pin, still intact, still working great. And I don't see any wear on any of the other lugs. So kind of boring, really nothing to point out here. If we take a look at the carrier, again, kind of boring, not a lot to talk about. The cam channel looks fine, no crazy wear. You can see where the carrier actually impacts the trunnion, little shiny spot there. Very normal. The tang that resets your hammer has the same amount of splash that it did in the first 500 rounds. So that's good. Overall, the piston head looks good. So nothing to write home about here. The carrier looks fine, honestly. Looking at the trunnion, still there's not anything that I can see here that throws up any red flags. If you look at all the camming channels, everything looks fine. I don't see any new shiny metal that's rolling over. I don't see any cracks. I just don't see anything. The fixed ejector looks fine. I don't see any crazy metal movement there. Looks fine. So I'm not seeing the crazy wear patterns that we're used to seeing from like the old Grantham AK-74 video. It looks like none of that is happening here. So that's good. One crazy thing I wanted to point out that I thought was kind of funny, because to me it's a non-issue because I'm always switching out triggers, is the trigger. If you look at the hammer's actually got metal movement. You can clearly see metal rolling over, which tells us the hammer is substantially softer than the carrier, which is honestly better than the opposite. You'd rather have your hammer wearing than the carrier wearing, you know? So there's that. I think eventually we are going to put an ALG in this thing, which will reverse those roles, because we know ALGs are very hard metal. But right now, factory trigger is losing the fight to the carrier, which is a good thing. So that's been the gun. We are well beyond 1,000 rounds. Everything we did today was very easy going. No problems at the range. Running gun was easy. It was quick to zero. It held zero all day. Which just speaks volumes for these RS Regulate mounts. They're just badass. We got hits at distance. We hit everything up close. It was fun to run and gun with because it's so short and light and handy. I just had a blast. And Reddit's going to hate me for this, but I'm thoroughly enjoying the gun with brass case ammo. Other than that, all I can say is I think it's time that we get really close to the conclusion of these KRINK wars. And I want to shoot the PSA KRINK versus the Riley Defense KRONK at a shooting competition, side by side, stage for stage. I want to shoot the same gun on every single stage and just see if anything happens. Because I'm here to tell you, anytime a gun breaks, it breaks at a match. Anyway, guys, that is all I have for you today. I don't really know what else to say. The gun's been boringly reliable. The internals look fine. And it was fun. It was fun pimping it out, too. It just looks... it looks kind of sick. All right, more to come on both KRINKs. So that's it. Love you, bye.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing.